This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote. Today's quote is, "Creativity is just connecting things." When you ask creative people how they did something, they feel a little guilty because they didn't really do it. They just saw something. It seemed obvious to them after a while. And that is from Steve Jobs. With us today in the studio, we have someone whose company provides designs and printing services to businesses. Lord only can tell if marketing is key to any business. The days of the best mousetrap are long gone. We are now in the branding era. Joining us today is someone whose company does just that. I introduce to you Mr. Lang Gibson of Papercraft. Hello, Lang.
Hello, Basil.
How are you?
I'm great. Nice to be with you.
My pleasure.
Good.
So tell us, Lang, what do you guys do at Papercraft?
Well, we call ourselves a branding company, and we are a total design-to-print solutions company. What that means is you come to us and you want a corporate identity or a logo or a concept of your identity, and we do that for you. We do it from scratch, designing the logo, designing all the pieces that go with your brand, meaning the stationary pieces, the business card, the letterhead, the envelopes, the postcard, the door hangers, all of the print pieces that go with your brand. Also, the digital part of it, also the Facebook page, the Twitter, the Tumblr, the Pinterest, and then we also do web design. Okay, so we're both in the print design and the digital design, but it all starts with identifying your company, who you are, what you stand for, your corporate culture, your values, what makes you unique. And crystallizing that into a symbol of your company, that when people look at it, they immediately know who you are, what you stand for. And then we're unique in the sense that not only do we do that, but we also do the actual printing of the finished product. So, and that's our background. You didn't ask, but I'll tell you. We came at it from that end originally.
Oh, you came for printing?
Yeah, we've been in the printing business for 20 years.
Oh, got it.
So,
but you just adapt to the change of the society.
That's exactly right, exactly right. As the world becomes more digitized and branding becomes, as you said, a more important part of business, we've had to evolve along with that. So we have sort of come at it from the back end, if you will, from printing, and now we're in the upfront part, the design work. So we'll work with small businesses, medium-sized or large businesses, but we figure our real strong niche is with startups.
Oh, really?
Yes, and small businesses who are rebranding. Because those are the folks who need the strength of a strong brand, but don't have a lot of money to spend on it. Well, anyway, I'm sort of going past your question, but I wanted to give you an idea of how we got to that part of our business. And so as a result of being a printer for 20 years, we really know papers, we know textures, we know finishes, we know weights, we know print, all sorts of different print. It's not all digital either. It can be engraving, it can be embossing, it can be raised print, it can have texture and finish to it, which a lot of people like and want, but don't even know it exists because everyone thinks it's just digital. So we can bring that part of our expertise to the table when we're consulting people on a brand. And then, of course, we have world-class designers that work on our staff that have the training and the background and the knowledge in corporate logo development. So they really know how to draw the essence of your culture out of you and turn it into a logo. Can I give you an example?
Yes, please.
Okay. There was a company that came to us called Blue Sky Technology. And after talking to them and meeting with them for a half hour or so, they made it clear to us that they wanted to be, they didn't want to look like sort of a impersonal, totally corporate, high-tech brand. They wanted something that looked friendly, maybe even a little whimsical, approachable, but memorable. Okay, and that's the important thing, is have it be memorable. So our designers came up with 3 versions, like we always do. And the one that they ended up picking was, I thought, amazing. It was 2 colors. It was blue and white, and it was a kite that was shown fluttering up in the air, and then the word Blue Sky Technologies next to it, in just a perfect font. So it wasn't totally geeky and techno looking. It was very friendly looking. So it was memorable.
I see. Well, that's what the branding is all about, right?
That's what it's all about. You've got to be memorable, but you have to identify what you're about, what you're calling. So you have to answer a lot of hard questions, stuff you may not even have thought of, about the values of your business and your people that work there, and what you want to stand for. Yeah.
When did you guys make the shift from printing to not the shift, but add the digital part?
Within the last 12 months. It's very
really?
Yes, very recent.
Wow.
Very recent. We've been in business since '92. Okay, so it's only been within the last 12 months that we've made this shift. Because I'm a stubborn guy, and I grew up in the print sales world, and I thought, this is going to go on this way forever, and the digital world, that's just a myth.
It's here today, it's gone tomorrow.
That whole internet thing, that's going to go away.
I'll be still here.
So we finally decided, well, maybe it's not, so we better either get with it or get buried by it, So I started thinking what would be a good marriage with our current business model and our current client base even. And we decided branding, and then let's get into the whole thing from start to finish. And instead of producing a product that's printed on paper, why can't we do one that's on a screen or on a Facebook page? So yeah, it's been very recent, but it's also been invigorating in a way, because it's kind of re-energized me and the people in my company, because it's kind of a new frontier for us. But it's exciting. And if I may say too, one thing that got us, that steered us toward this business, is talking to and meeting with a lot of small businesses, even medium-sized businesses, that were underrepresented in terms of their brand. What do I mean by that? Well, I'd go to them as a print salesman, and they'd say, here's what I got. Can you improve this any? Can you make it look better? Yeah, I can, but it's going to take some, it's going to take some time, and we're not really designers, and we'll see if we can just make it look better through better printing, So my focus was on upgrading the printing and the quality of the paper instead of the brand itself.
Got it. Okay.
So after going through this a number of times with small professional firms and seeing that they really wanted something that they didn't have, I thought, there's a marketplace. Okay, there's somebody who has a need, who doesn't have the time or the resources right now to get it done. They're too small and understaffed, and too busy to pay long-term attention to it because they're busy running their business, or they simply don't have the money. They don't have the resources to hire somebody to do it. And that's a lot of folks out there, okay? There's a lot of business out there who want a beautiful brand, but they don't have $25,000 to $30,000 to spend on it. And that's typically what a high-end design agency will charge you. And that's just to give you your brand. I'm not talking about the finished product.
Okay.
So you go to a design agency, you'll work with very talented, very qualified, very well-educated people to come up with something that looks like it, that looks good, okay? But you've spent a whole ton of money. You've taken 60 to 90 days for that to happen, because that's how long the process will take. And then at the end of that, you have a pretty picture of a logo, but you don't have anything practical you can use yet. So there's a great middle ground of businesses out there that fall into that gap, that want and recognize the importance of a brand, but don't have the big bucks to spend on it. And they don't want to go to an online solution, which is far, far less money, but it's not up to their standards, okay? The old saying goes, you get what you pay for. You can go online and shop and buy a logo for $200, okay? But it's gonna look like 100 other logos out there, and it was pulled from templates, and they're plugging in different colors and designs and so forth. So it's not truly unique, and it's not based on your culture. So for our marketplace, our niche is those small and medium-sized businesses who may not have 30 grand, but they don't want to buy it off the internet.
Okay.
So for $2,000 to $5,000, depending on what you want, you'll get all of that from us, and you'll get it in less than 30 days,
Gotcha.
or faster, if depending on how the process goes. But we're not bogged down by a whole roster of clients that are coming to us all at once for design needs and asking us to update this and update that. Ours has a beginning, middle, and end process. We design the logo for you, we design all the pieces that go around it, we produce it, we ship it to you. And then, the great thing is, after that, if you want to order promotional items, pens or cups or hats or anything with your logo on it, we do that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I hate to use the term one-stop shopping because it's so cliche, but in essence, that's what we are.
Well, you also have a coordination of it, and I guess it's great because now your knowledge of paper and engraving and everything really kicks in big time, whereas they could go somebody else and get it for $200, whatever they have it. Now when it comes to the printing, and there's no coordination at all.
That's right.
Whereas when you're designing it, knowing what paper you have, you're already thinking in terms of what paper I can go on.
That's exactly right.
So the paper does not just, whichever we have left, we're printing on it.
Right, exactly.
What people have good.
Yeah, whatever's laying around.
We did that, but it was thought and part of the process. So I think that's...
No, you are exactly right. You are exactly right. And that's a really critical part of it. It's one thing to design a beautiful logo, but then if you don't do it justice by recommending, the finest form of printing for that, then you're not getting the most out of it.
Or you're going to make a total difference.
Make a total difference.
It can even kill, lack of better, it can kill the logo.
It's exactly right. And people think, well, I can't afford raised print, or I can't afford engraving. It's true that it's an extra investment. There's no question about it. But it's all about what kind of impression do you want to put forth. If I'm a law firm or I'm a consulting agency and I'm competing with larger companies for government business or any contract, I want to look credible. I want to look like one of the big guys, like I know what I'm doing. Part of that is tied up in the image that you have on paper. And so it's important that people seriously consider what kind of printing they're doing, not just that it's a logo, but how is it printed. So we bring those options to the table as well.
I would say the whole image, as put it, is the logo and the paper is printing on.
Yes. Yes.
The image is not just the logo. The logo does not stand by itself.
Exactly.
What is it printing on? How does it look like on the screen, on the paper? So that's all part of it.
When somebody, and I boil it down to this, when somebody hands you their business card, right? They go like this, and you take it, and you feel, look, you feel how thick it is, and then you looked at the printing and you even ran your fingers over it, right? So there's a very tactile impression, message, thank you, that this gives you. And it can be good or not so good. And you know, from our standpoint, the better the quality, the better message you're sending,
Definitely.
the more likely they are to keep this, and it'll stand out from the other pile of cards that they got from everybody else at the same event. Wow. Okay, these guys must have something going on. So.
No, absolutely. No, it makes sense. Definitely see that. To me, it's like it's the whole picture when we're talking about it.
Right.
It's not just the logo, the people, it's the whole picture.
That's right.
Because they can go neutralize one another.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think the knowledge is good for you. You have an edge because in the printing, you did with the final piece. You learn how the final thing is, the paper, then routing, whatever. And now when you bring this, it comes, as opposed to somebody who went into just doing the computer, then now let me go to printing. You already have a good grasp of what the final product
You're
is.
exactly right.
So I think on that account,
A lot of these kids, you know, who came up in the digital age, it's really interesting when I encounter them or speak with them, because everything to them, if it's printed on paper, that's unique in and of itself, right? I mean, they're used to looking at everything on a screen. So when you start talking about weight and texture, you're just blowing their mind. But it's really true. You know, you've got to have, the message is carried in the feel and the quality of the paper, you know. So that's the perspective that we came from when we got into the design aspect of it. And I think it's a perfect marriage of expertise.
No, definitely, I think so too. I think you came from, coming from printing, you have an edge, because it takes knowledge. Printing is not just, I mean, you say for anything, but there's a fair amount of knowledge in it.
No doubt. Oh yeah.
Fair amount of knowledge in printing.
That still is a real craft. A skilled printer, a skilled artisan, if you will. To watch them work, it's almost like watching a master carpenter or a bricklayer do their job. It's impressive.
I bet.
Yeah, it is. But a few of the other things that we offer that kind of go along with the whole branding and printing. We also have a couple of distribution centers for businesses who may not have adequate storage space or office space to house their product. Now I'm talking in most cases about larger businesses, obviously. But they want the cost advantage, they want the economic advantage of buying in bulk, and they want to be able to get their hands on it immediately when they need it. But they just can't keep it in their stock room or their spare storage room. So we provide that service as well. We have a distribution centers in Northern Virginia where we house product for people who have prepaid for it and store it with us, and then we drop ship it to them as needed. So we can also do what's called fulfillment for them. So if they have a mailing, or if they have some piece that they want sent out to all their customers, we can stuff
Get their
it.
address and just send it for them.
They send us a spreadsheet. We do all the labeling, stuffing, and mailing. Fulfillment center. So we do that as well. But anyway, we're sort of getting away from the branding.
I have a question, brother. Paper craft, where does that name come from?
Well, that's a great question. We started the company in 1992. My wife and I did, out of our townhouse in Springfield, Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yes. We had a 2-year-old son, and she was pregnant with our daughter when we started this. crazy, but we did. She worked with me then and still does to this day. In fact, she's the owner of the company. And when we launched this in '92, it was like almost like picking your child's name. You know, we wrote down a bunch of names that we thought would be appropriate for the business that we're in. But we also wanted something that made us sound bigger than we were. You know, we're only 2 people. So if I'm calling on Basile, the president of IBM, and he knows he thinks he's dealing with mom and pop in their townhouse in Springfield, he might go, next.
I don't think so.
Well, you know what I mean, perception.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a bit of a marketing approach. So I wanted to pick a name that sounded big, that made us sound big. Papercraft Incorporated. Oof.
All the people in the world.
Yeah. So, and at that time, we were selling a lot more paper, just, you know, office papers, copy paper, different bond papers, cover stock, computer paper back when they used it. So we did sell a lot more paper back then, along with the printing. But it all had to do with paper, and I wanted the name Craft in there because I thought it made it sound like we're craftsmen.
I think that was brilliant.
You know?
I think it was brilliant.
And so that's what we've been. And the only time that has changed is when we introduced the brand design, the logo design, is we added a branding company under our logo, because people hear Papercraft and they go, oh,
no,
they sell paper
yeah.
and party favors and hobbies, things, you know, scrapbooking. So, you know.
So we've changed.
Yeah. So we put that tagline under our logo to give people a better idea, but we didn't want to abandon the name.
Yeah. So. Paper craft is a good name itself, because when you're talking about craft, which is in itself something highly respected.
That's what I think.
The
yeah.
craft.
Yeah,
yes.
craft.
Yes. When you say craft, it's like people are like, whoa.
Right.
You know, this is something now.
These people are craftsmen. Yeah. I'm dealing with somebody who takes quality seriously, and we've always taken quality very, very seriously. You know, in any business, it's about, you know, service, quality, and price. And I would say in that order. I would say, first and foremost, above and beyond anything else, is service. That's what will keep you coming back. That's what will make you remembered. If you don't have that, then the price doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes.
Quality is obviously very, very important. So you have to be have red carpet quality. But those are the things that we focus on. Are service and quality. Of course, price is important. You've got to be competitive.
Absolutely.
And we certainly are competitive, but it's about value. It's about what you're bringing for that price.
Absolutely.
So that's our philosophy.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you this line. You attended one of our breakfast events. Why don't you tell our audience your experience at the breakfast event?
Oh, it was great. It was just from a it was just a fun thing to go to. First of all, the people are all very friendly and approachable, and sort of a similar background in that they're all entrepreneurial. They're all good business people, and they're eager to learn what you do and share what they do. And it's a great venue for lead building for your business, or it's a great place just to meet new friends, exchange ideas. So it's a tremendous resource. I've been to a couple. I've enjoyed them both.
How about the expo you attended last week?
Oh, it was great. The expo was great. Very well attended. Lots of good traffic. Lots of qualified people coming by. Very well set up.
Thank you.
Thanks to you. It was first class.
Thank you.
First class. Yeah, I was very impressed.
Okay, good.
Yes, and I noticed how you were walking the floor the entire time, making sure that everybody stayed in their place. I saw you, this one lady, this one booth, they had their table just a little, and you told them, move it back, all right? Keep the aisles clear, all right? We can't cross this line. But no, and that's organization, and you have to have things set up in an organized fashion, and that's what you were doing, so. I just got a kick out of it.
I tried to be the policeman, folks.
I got a kick out of it. I was sort of cringing on that for that lady because I knew what was coming.
It's important though, that the road be clear for for people to move easily. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In case folks don't know what we're talking about, we host a monthly breakfast event here in Fairfax. You can see the website there on the screen, which is blnbc.com. And also we have the expo. We just had one last week, as Lank mentioned. The next one coming will be on November 14th. You can see the website on the screen as well, which is ultbizexpo.com. Now, one last word, Lang, for you, for the audience.
Mm-hmm. We, embedded in our culture of papercraft, is entrepreneurism. And I think that that's what translates when we talk to small business owners, to entrepreneurs, is that we understand the world that they operate in. We understand their challenges, and I think that gives us a deeper understanding when it comes to developing an identity for them. Because we have been them and we are them. So I feel like there's a kinship there that gives us an advantage when it comes to collaborating with them on their brand.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Basil.
Folks, we appreciate having you. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.